Red flags, bad signs, biting expose. Man United has properly been exposed by the activity happening at other clubs and lack of progress when it comes to United. Are we seeing a clear improvement in what Ineos has done ever since they took over, especially now that the summer is on? Listen, we started fast, signing Cunha in record time by our standards. But Cunha was an easy buy because buyout clause is clear. The player wants United. Snap of a finger, he's our player. Match made in heaven, isn't it? But when it comes to players we need to negotiate, United are looking to be slow at it, and it's beginning to look worrying. Why? Because our opponents like Chelsea are coming from deal after deal after deal and are still seeding players before United. Guess what? They just sealed Joao Pedro in just less than 24 hours and he's already joining them at the Club World Cup. Isn't that insane? What does that show about United? Meanwhile, the president of Sporting again has spoken. Should we run away from this deal? Because the way this guy, again, I've said it here before, guys. Again, keep remembering things that I've said before. I've said it here before that some of the things that are beginning to come out around Gyokeres, the dirty linen we are beginning to see around Gyokeres, for me, will make for probably good riddance, low-key, but not that we should give up on him yet. But it doesn't look good at all. What looks good, though, is the number of you people out there who are rushing to come and learn how to earn online. It's encouraging. It's a good thing that you people have understood that indeed the internet today is the new way to go. It's how people live and survive. It's how the richest men get their wealth now, or keep it, multiply it tenfold, 100-fold. It's how people are enjoying life from home, working from home. It's a new way of living and earning. So if you haven't learned how you too can do it, you better come and learn. The number is down there on your screen. The charges are still little. It's still $15 for your 1 hour, which is enough for you to get it. But trust you me, sooner than later, they could double or even quadruple, because truth is the knowledge you get is worth a lot more than that. I'm giving you knowledge that is going to change your life and the life of your clan in terms of earning. Now, let's get into it. Speaking of earning, so Joao Pedro is going to be signed already by Chelsea, who are just from Gittens, and now they are sealing him already and is joining the team at the World Cup. At this time, United are still back and forth with Brentford for Mbeumo. Now, one may say these are different players, different situation, but you see, the case is the same. I don't think Joao Pedro has always been a key priority for Chelsea. He's probably a player, yes, they had on the list, but I don't think he was, because they are bringing him as a replacement for Christian Nkunku. They have made decisions already that Nkunku is leaving, and they have identified the player they want to bring in, and they have gone for him. We're talking, meanwhile, of a player who had a bit of a competition, because Newcastle had also placed a bid for him. But quickly, in less than a day, they have sold him. Meanwhile, United are still back and forth on Mbeumo, a player who even I, from the start, told you here that Brentford will be wanting about 65 million. I explained to you here how negotiations work, where you should know your partner. And I told you here, he landed on 65 million quid. Up to now, United is still short of that, but they know they should raise that money. The player wants you. Even the player, I'm sure, should be feeling, but these guys really want me. They're not serious. If they do, they should be sealing me now. I think he's even running out of patience himself. So I feel like the happenings or goings on at other clubs are exposing us in a way that I thought maybe Ineos would have changed by now. We started well with Cunha, bringing him in early, but that was a buyout clause player. But the negotiations seem not to be taking the right direction in terms of course, speed. So what then does that show? That perhaps we still have a lot of work to do to improve this team. That maybe we cannot feel like we are there yet. Not to say that Mbeumo is not going to happen. I think he will happen, but we should be now signing a fourth player or thereabout, or even a fifth. We should be already advanced with a goalkeeper. We still need a striker, a midfielder. We are all over the place in terms of positions we need players for, but we are yet to concretize even one position. We are still on the number 10 position. How many weeks into the window? for weeks and weeks, nearly months, we've been on one player. It isn't good at all. It makes us look like we are incompetent. It shows you're not good at negotiations, because good negotiations don't take too long. It don't take too long. They don't take too long. So it's a bad thing. But the interesting one today has been about Victor Gyokeres, and there are people out there who will feel maybe again these are the red flags we've spoke about. I think if I recall, I'll tag that video where I spoke about the red flags that maybe could make for good riddance. We would say, okay, he chose Arsenal over United, maybe because there seems to be a lot of dirty linen surrounding Sporting and Gyokeres now. The way the exchange between the president, now Gyokeres, the player himself, and his agents, for me, makes for, I think, a red flag. To be fair, the player is good, we love him, but he seems to prioritize Arsenal over us. But I think if he has got all this clutter around him, we can as well dump him and go elsewhere, because there should be other options we can get. So the Sporting president was speaking today on Sunday, or yes, was it yesterday, depending on when you've seen this video, and he said Sporting do not need to sell Gyokeres, but they will respect the player's dream of moving if a club meets what they believe is a fair market value. So I'm now quoting him verbatim. Sporting is very calm regarding Victor Gyokeres. Sporting does not need to sell him, but we remain sensitive to the dreams of Victor and any of our athletes. After weeks of meetings, we are not asking for the release clause and will be reasonable regarding the price we ask for Victor. Today, I believe there is a strong probability that he will leave. We have been watching the market, and I saw Martin, that's Zubimendi. Now he's beginning to bring in other players into his argument. We saw Martin, that's Zubimendi, who is 6 months younger than Victor, leave for 65 million euros. Then he says, I saw Matthews Cunha and Brian Mbeumo, both forwards, but who, in my opinion, do not have Victor's market value and quality, being negotiated for around 75 million euros. Now, this is what he's benchmarking on to make his point. Given the demands we consider fair, I believe Victor could leave unless he has the worst agent in the world. That's what he had. For me, that was a jibe at the agent. It shows you that the agent certainly is not in good books in the face of Federico. Unless he has the worst agent in the world, which is hard for me to believe because he is one of the best footballers in the world. That's according to the president. That's for me a jig thrown at the agent. Now, that for me alone shows you that there is there is something not right, with the three parties: the player, the agent, and the club or the president, which for me, I will look in hindsight and say, and again, this is partly a way of consoling myself in the event that Victor goes to Arsenal and not United, that maybe we can as well do without such a player who has got such around him. Because I keep saying here that the way a player leaves a club he has been serving for a long time speaks volumes about how he will behave wherever he goes. And that's partly why I think up to now, things are silent on Victor Osimhen. One of the hottest strikers in the world, but no club is rushing to try and sign him. He's all over the place. What does it mean? It means maybe there is something, there are certain grey areas clubs have seen in him that, they appreciate his good, but they have disquiets about him. And we will know about these things later, by the way. At some point, we will get to know why exactly Victor Osimhen, who was not a hot cake in the summer, where we thought him and Victor Gyokeres were going to be leading, the transfer talk. Maybe in the coming days, things will change, and we see movements and reports about it. But there seems to be a very loud silence, and that's a figure of speech, around Victor Osimhen, which I don't think is good. But this guy continues to say that the player and the agent they know the fee and they can guarantee it's not 60 plus 10, but they won't say it. It's not about trying to gain something. It's that he simply will not leave. For that, absolutely, he will not. The president has been clear. So, the back and forth is there. I've said it here before that I feel like the way clubs now are based, so Brentford again are quoting how Man United paid 62.5 for Cunha, and now this guy is quoting the same team, and now Brentford and what Arsenal paid for Zubimendi. I feel because of that in the future, clubs might want to vote for concealing or not revealing confidentiality, that these figures that players are signed or bought for are not revealed publicly, so that people don't use them now for their own benefits in terms of negotiation. They don't use them as the benchmarks for either over pricing players or trying to negotiate for an extra penny. For the smaller clubs that usually are the ones selling to the bigger clubs, it's a good thing. But for the big clubs, and they usually have a huge say, it doesn't work in their favor in any way. If you're going to have to quote what I paid to another club for a certain player for you to again over hike your player, it's not quite healthy. It doesn't look healthy at all, does it? So I feel like in the future it's possible that we could see a thing like that happen. So we start having a lot to talk about in terms of fees for players. So we just know this one has made a bid for this player, the other one has rejected it, but we don't know how much. I feel like we could head there at some point when it comes to this football. But that's where we are. The truth is, we are so slow. We are so slow when it comes to signing players. Things are not moving as fast. If you try to compare our activity with clubs that are far ahead of us, from Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal itself now, they were silent, but now already Arsenal has signed two players and they are too advanced in signing a third, the defender from Valencia. So you can imagine United is lagging behind, and it's not good. You can't lag behind literally and virtually. We have literally lagged behind by being the lowest ranked surviving team in the Premier League, but we're also now lagging behind in the transfers. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing, and it's worrying. So let's hope we can deal with it. What's more worrying though is the fact that you're here always watching me, listening to me tell you about how the internet is paying people and changing their lives, but you're doing nothing about it. You're just there. You're just there. Somehow you're comfortable, not earning from a place where you spend the biggest amount of your time and data at. It's insane, isn't it? It's crazy. They have eyes, but they can't see, they say. I'm waiting for you. Open your eyes. Come and see that the internet now has made some of the world's richest people so quick, meanwhile. Cheers.